I haven't got my laugh back. I tell you, Frank, I was supposed to read you at 7. We had loss of power and the internet. I don't know why it happened. I had no internet, but I had to stick to the schedule. So after I do this video, Frank, I'm gonna call you and talk to you this evening. I hope it's still early, but it's. Please bear with me, Frank. Alrighty. Is this correct? Something don't look right. It looks fuzzy. It looks fuzzy. Cloudy. It do. I wonder what's going on. I'll tell you. It has fallen. It has dropped a few times. Brand new phone. The devil. He trying. He trying. Big trying. You know what I go through? It does not get better. All right. Pisces, Neptune, and the 12th house. Pisces, the most mysterious sign of the zodiac. The Piscean age, which is now officially closed, as we now are in a gray period where we begin now, and as many are being born as we speak, now ready with the seminal and germinal seed of the incoming age, Aquarius. So we gotta say bye-bye, Mr. Pisces, because the reign of Pisces and the reign of sorrow is over. First, let me get my little Aperol with my Perrier water. Okay. Pisces, we're gonna jump right in. Pisces is, I can go allegorical here, or I can be very esoteric and be generically mundane. Boring. Because it's theoretical, and even if it wasn't, I gotta tell you, most Piscean nowadays, and I cannot imagine it had been any better, but the Piscean men out here are scandalous. Scandalous. One more time, scandalous. Put it from the opposite polarity of the equally scandalous Virgo. So we got these two in the pot. Pow! Snap, crackle, and pop. There are 4 types of Pisces men. And I gave that before, but it does help to bring it up here. Pisces is complex. Oh my God. You think it's Cancer? See, even if Cancer is complex, I just gave you the key to Cancer. Security. Now that you know that, which is critical of Cancer, to know Cancer, know that security is very important. It can define the entire lifetime. So you can get to know Cancer by simply knowing the basic need that he has, security. And that will become the sun in which everything that he does revolves around it like a star. Cancer man. So you can figure him out. Pisces? Good. Not with Pisces. Now, I will tell you, the woman is more complex than the man. There are 12 women in one. Literally. Yes? Yeah, a lot of the books say it, and I think they say 1 or 2 sentences about it, but they don't really go in details about it. So people who are reading it, especially students of astrology back in the 80s and 70s, didn't think nothing of it. Oh no, I've been with Pisces, women, not men, and I gotta tell you, there can be 12 different women in 1 minute, and 12 minutes in 1 hour, in a month, and right back in one day. They get up Aries and end up at the evening being Pisces. And all in between is a variance. Let me discuss the women for a minute concerning cycles and biorhythms. I'm not going to give descriptions or revelations of women of water or earth or fire or air because it's information that's very sensitive and men can use that against women. So it will be a liability to put that in the air. I'd rather put it for men, for women to figure out because men don't speak, don't communicate their feelings. It's more complex to figure men out. But to expose a woman's inner workings on the air is dangerous. It can be used by some motherfucker to hurt a woman that way. So that's why we're not gonna do women because it's more vulnerable here for your protection. So understand that the woman, it's 12 and 1, the woman, 1 for Pisces. So you got to figure that out. Never mind the sun, ascendant, you know, and all that stuff. Then you got to figure out her biorhythm. When does Charlie come out, which is Sagittarius? What about Brunhilde, the Gemini? When does she come out in the day or in the afternoon? Because these personalities emerge as temperamental feelings and emotions. And it's very obvious if you are very observant and you watch a Pisces woman, you can see her go through the revolution of 12 different personalities in one sitting or in one moment in time. It's fascinating to see, but you have to really get to know this woman to see all of those facets of her. And she's a bundle of contradictions and paradoxical and histrionic. Imagine all of that, and that's a lot, and multiply times 10. That's the man. But unlike the woman Pisces, it's not expository, it's internal. Like Scorpio, everything is internalized and not a mustard seed of vibration is emitted for you to figure out what the person is thinking or feeling inside. This is very typical of water, the element of water. Now, before I go into the 4 categories of Pisces men, I gotta say a couple of more things about water. Because it truly is a phenomenal element. I can see why it is the element that promotes life. I see why. Understand that we have 3 classifications of water, 4 categories that deal with its morphology and chemistry, and 3 other categories that defines the psychological functionality in each of the groupings of water signs and their decans. When we're dealing with cardinal water, we're dealing with active water. Now, I don't know if you asked yourself a question as to how come I never associate Cancer and cardinal water with the ocean. You never hear me talk about the ocean and Cancer. I talk about Pisces and the ocean. But it is the moon that pulls the tides. That's the active part of the water, hence cardinal. So without the moon pulling on the oceans, we will not have a biorhythm of the earth in which to create the other currents, which the birds follow and herds of animals on Earth follow, and the electromagnetic grid is actually set in motion because of that. Oh, you'd be surprised. And water plays a major role in the electromagnetic biorhythm of the planet, which the moon influences, causing the pull and the tilt. And the movement is sedonic. It's a sedonic movement. It's binary. Our Earth and our moon move together like this, and that's a binary movement or sedonic movement. So we resemble a binary star. That same specialty as you can see in water. You have salt water, fresh water, and then you have dirty water. Dirty water is usually defined as water that has metals in it. Chemicals, either natural from the earth, like volcanic eruptions and earthquakes, can release certain metals into the ocean. So, and that creates another category. Okay. And then we have different morphologies of water, which we create another category, which is the category of houses, where they are found. The first one is the ocean. That's the biggest body of water and the main category. It is salt water, undrinkable, but it is critical for marine life. Salty. Then you have rivers. Rivers are fresh water. So that's another category, another morphological aspect of water, and it's clear water. Then you have lakes. Lakes is another category of morphology of water. Then you have geysers. That naturally is a natural phenomenon of our planet that shoots water up, and it can be salty or fresh. And then we have category number 5 of morphology of water, and that is aquifers. Aquifers are huge bodies of water that could be as big as lakes that are underneath the earth. It is fresh water. You ever heard of aqueducts? Well, they have to build tunnels to go into the aquifer to pull the water. The water that we drink on earth comes from aquifers. This is fixed water. The geyser is fixed water. The lake and the pond, another category, is also fixed water. The swamp and the marshlands, that's another category. This is all Scorpio, fixed water, because it doesn't move, but it still sustains life. There's some lakes or ponds that don't, and there's a reason for that. So just like we have different bodies of water that don't move on the earth, so too do we have different personality characteristics of Scorpio under fixed water. Put a little pepper here. Now let's go back to cardinal water, active water. The reason why it is active water and it's cardinal is because Mother Nature can use the water as a vehicle of destruction and also control of population. We have heard of rogue waves that are as big as the Empire State Building that can break steel in half. Who the fuck has heard of something like that before? Who would, what? You would not, if it was another time period, you would have, motherfucker, what's wrong with you? Ain't nobody gonna do that. That's steel, titanium, but water. The power and mystery behind that force ruled by the moon. It's beautiful and it's terrifyingly beautiful. And this is an aspect of the holy terror of nature, reflected by, you know, Jehovah, who is considered to the God that is more aggressive and more destructive aspect. Here in the West, in the East is Kali, right? So it's the same concept, but just different cultures expressed in a different way. So when you have water that can do that and break landmass or overcome the earth and drown and kill everything in it, well, the flood. Look at the flood. The flood was so high, according to the ancient text, that it reached the clouds, the stratosphere, the ionosphere, way up there. The birds could not survive. It was designed to destroy everything on Earth, and it was used to the vehicle of water. So hence the cardinality of water, active water. The oceans are ruled by Pisces and the moon. Although Neptune, as far as we know, has no influence over our oceans, only the moon. But Neptune, had it been closer, like the moon is, may have had an influence because it's a bigger body. But the moon is solid, so the gravitational pull is stronger. Remember that Neptune is a gas giant, so it might not be the same gradient of gravitational pull, especially if it doesn't tie to the Earth, creating a binary semblance of a star. So there's a lot of complications and complexities here, but the bottom line is that the ocean falls under the dominion of Neptune, but it's functional under the moon, so it's both the moon and Neptune. And then, of course, Scorpio rules all bodies of water that does not move. And Cancer rules all bodies of water, whether it's aquifers, ponds, lakes, oceans, geysers, as long as that water becomes active, where it can be a potential to destroy, then it becomes cardinal. An example is the Grand Canyon. The Grand Canyon was completely carved through the erosion of water in these rocks over thousands or hundreds of thousands of years. So the Grand Canyon was completely carved by water. So imagine the force and power of water. Now, having put it like that, you can get an appreciation of the complexity of the water signs, particularly the men of water. Beginning with the last sign of the zodiac, Pisces. First of all, there's 4 personality types and there's 4 evolutionary types. Yeah, things get complex in Pisces. And then there's another category. Is the Pisces here because he wanted to be here or because he's forced to be here? Number 1. So that's 2 categories right there. Number 4. What personality is he? The next number. What are the 4 evolutionary types and which one does he fit? And then we got to throw a few other factors. And observe the polarity point of Virgo, which doesn't help any because Virgo is equally as complex. So the first personality type is the tragic hero. That's the decan of Pisces, double Pisces, at the beginning of the month. That's the first decan. This Pisces is dramatic, hyper, restless, contradictory, and loves to indulge in drinking. When he drinks, he can take two subtype of personalities under the influence. One is the happy drunk, the other is the mean drunk. That's another category. And it gets more complicated than that. Then you have a third subcategory, which is the clown. The child of an alcoholic who does a lot of comedy and does a lot of jokes as a defense mechanism to deflect the horrors and reality that usually alcoholism in a family can bring. This type of Pisces grew up in crisis and probably had to raise himself. He was neglected, and there was crisis after crisis after crisis after crisis. So there was no psychological rest from crisis. So the child never grew up knowing how to relax. So he's on survival mode from day one until the day he dies. The older he gets, the more reckless he gets. If there's no therapy or counseling to recalibrate the personality, this person can go into drugs, get deeper and deeper and sunk into true darkness, as only Pisces knows it, and stay there for a while until the fish swings the other way, and then the other fish swings, and then he reaches a point of extreme equilibrium, only to oscillate back again. And he's called a tragic hero because deep down he's a gentle, sweet soul. But it's like there's a Jekyll and Hyde with this type that no one knows what triggers it. The alcohol doesn't trigger trauma. The alcohol nullifies trauma, that reason for drinking. But something triggers the trauma that causes the person to run and drink to avoid it. And it is these triggers that are unknown to the person who wants to date a Pisces man who has this type of background, and whom the woman will not know and will not see, because these are fantastic chameleons, pulling from Virgo, the chameleon, and he will come cloaked. You will not see this deficiency. And Neptune in Pisces rules illusion, and witchcraft is glamour. He can be what you want in a man and completely mimic what you want in a man and be completely false. Oh, the tragic hero, category number one. Category number two, the fox, the sly fox, the decan being Virgo. This one is extremely promiscuous. He sleeps with everybody, men, women, friends, co-workers, random people. And he's very amoral or very decadent in his sexual appetites, down to perversity, pulling from the Scorpio dynamic. And Scorpio and Virgo and Pisces rules the sadomasochist polarity. So this type of Pisces Virgo will probably go to all kinds of gay or straight club, burlesque club. He might be a member of an S&M club and dressed in leather and have all kinds of things like his nipple. He's still born. And be a dominatrix and deal with all that whole culture and subculture, which is very Pluto, very Plutonian. Like, he will have multiple affairs and keep them separate from each other. This type of man is capable of really hurting people emotionally, destroying people. Usually, with this category, there's been severe trauma. And I mean trauma where he lost his brothers and sisters, or his father or his mother. He might have witnessed his mother being killed or raped. He might have witnessed his brother being murdered. Deep trauma with Pisces, they go to some fucking, ooh, you think Scorpio? Ooh, deep trauma. Again, pulling from the opposite polarity, Virgo, the sign of crisis. So we see this type, the fox. He's also in survival mode, but he's in survival mode as a scavenger. While the first one, the tragic hero, is in survival mode because he doesn't want to be consumed or destroyed by the hostile environment that's happening around him in his own home. He wants to survive the experience of being at home through the turbulence, while the fox is trying to use the environment to his advantage and to manipulate it to survive, because he learned it early. You can't trust your environment because it's not stable. The second decan, I said Virgo. Virgo is the opposite polarity. The decan of the fox is Scorpio. The decan of the first part of the week is Pisces, Scorpio, and then Cancer, the third decan. So this guy is Pisces, Scorpio. Ooh. And he might end up himself being murdered or killed. I've seen that in many Pisces, especially with the men. They might be involved in dangerous activity in secret, only to be discovered out in the open in a very embarrassing and tragic way. Oh, I can go on and on. When it comes, this man in category 2, the fox, is incapable of love. Incapable of it. Doesn't know the meaning of the word. And it's been like this for many lifetimes. With the Scorpio decan, he's here to transform that. But he's going to be plunged into a world of total darkness, and where his own faith as a Piscean has to be that guiding light to marshal him through. This usually occurs as he gets older in life, because he don't get it in midlife either. He gotta be older to get it. He can be very jealous and very envious of what people have. He's dangerous. He's an interloper. He'll use subterfuge to enter into a house or a couple or a family or life of somebody and manipulate it and destroy it. The talented Mr. Ripley or single white female, like an interloper, comes in and to destroy and take over. The fox. And he's usually very good looking, very good in the bedroom, the Pisces, the whore, and Scorpio, the sex and technique, and the sex alone he uses to bind people to him and emotionally manipulate them. Ooh, it's fierce, this type, the fox. And fair weather, but it puts a good game. Remember, in the world of theater, the symbol of the smiley face and the sad face is the symbol of Pisces. They're very good actors. And we have many actors in Hollywood born under Pisces. Ascendant and the moon in Pisces. And Venus in Pisces. It's exaltation. But it's a mixed bag to have a lot of Venus or a lot of this pronunciation of Scorpio. Venus exalted in Pisces with a Scorpio decan completely nullifies that exaltation, because Venus is in detriment in Scorpio. So there is a lack of loyalty and of moral character, only to be developed later in life, should he chooses to. Oh, deep. And it does get deeper. How can, well, you will know if you want a Pisces man, you will not know all of this. Because when I tell you that he's good, he's so good, he's so good, he's so good, he's good. I'm putting a wonderful glamour. You won't even detect it. And he studies people. He can zero in on people's weaknesses and play into those weaknesses to the point of total destruction of the other person by using it against them for whatever motive. Usually sex, because they're very hedonistic. Whores. Category 3. The intellectualist. The pragmatic intellectualist. This cat is something else. Here we see another, it's another aspect of the fox, but not really. The third type, the pragmatic intellectualist, he can hold down a job. Because most Pisces men can't, well, allegedly, and from my own experience doing this 42 years, there seems to be an issue here with the career in the Pisces man. He don't quite get it right until middle years. A few of them are lucky if they know what they want to do and they have the discipline to do it and begin it. But it's a few far in between. God bless him if the other two that I just mentioned can find a job and hold it. But this one, the pragmatic intellectualist, he will hold down a job. He has an education. And in the job, people either hate him or love him. He comes across like a Capricorn, suits, and he can be real mean. Remember, the apex predator in the ocean is the shark. And the shark, don't forget, it's not a mammal, it's a fish. So the great white shark can come under Pisces. Pisces can come like that. And it will be rightfully to do so because that's one of the symbols. And it is the apex predator of the ocean. Just like the lion is the apex predator of the land. And the eagle, the apex predator of the air. So understand that everything has its categories, including human beings, through the agency of the psychology and the personality and ego that the person is constructed under. And these things can be decoded in the horoscope. But even if you don't do a horoscope, just knowing the person's birthday and knowing that they can't, that's a lot. That's a good chunk of juicy information that you have as a head start of what you're dealing with. You add that with the sun and the moon and the ascendant, you're good. You can get to know that person in a pretty good, decent way. Enough for you to know and measure what that person is capable of or what they're not capable of. The third category of this guy was the pragmatic intellectualist. It's a facade. You would think by judging him at work that this is the personality that's present 24 hours a day. Not at all. It's a complete, again, here we see the elements of Neptune and deception, where again, glamour, he paints something that he wants people to know and think, but when he leaves that office and goes home, he's a whole totally different person. Pisces. This man is a womanizer. The pragmatic intellectualist is a womanizer. A total whore. No different than the fox and the tragic hero. but for different reasons than the other two. This type of man, category 3, does not like to be alone. He's fearful of the spiritual side. This type of Pisces might not believe in spirituality. He might not believe in God. He might not believe in the afterlife and things spiritual, which is usually attributed to Pisces. You can meet some Pisces that are completely the opposite, pulling from the opposite polarity of Virgo, which is very logical and linear and doesn't believe in anything antithetical of clouds and heaven that, And those Virgos that do have deep spiritual gifts, like myself, are in tune with our polarity of Pisces, the sign of the psychic and medium and shaman. So understand that this type of Piscean is absolutely terrified of that netherworld. And he knows that it's real, but he convinces himself. He psychs himself out and pretending that it's not real and life is logical and linear. And he will construct an entire facade, even of living, to be able to fight the reality that's inevitable, that he one day will be enmeshed in that reality, either to death or to some kind of antithetical cosmic experience. This type of conditioning has occurred in childhood. He might have come from an overly religious family or a family that did not believe in religion. Not that they openly said about not going to church, not going to Sunday school, may have sent mixed signals about what to believe and what not to believe, or what values he should assimilate. Those of himself, which he doesn't know because no model was presented for him to model, or that of society, which could be plastic and generic. So he dismisses it all if he doesn't see functionality of it. Again, pulling from Virgo, the pragmatic, but it's still a facade is not real. With Pisces, you never know what's real and what's not. The fourth category, the mystic. The mystic. This one is the elevated, evolved Pisces, who's intensely psychic, has gifts of clairvoyance, clairaudient, can probably read cards or take water in a bowl and read, or read tea leaves or do cards, and it fully embodies the energy of Pisces. He may have trouble balancing a checkbook and paying the rent and keeping a job. His job is to be a spiritual healer, and his job or profession should be along those lines. If he doesn't, he'll have a very tough time since he's completely wired to respond to the unseen world, not the visible world of matter. So he might be someone that might need taken care of. He might need to be married and have a wife that is the logical one, while he can remain the ethereal, antithetical. And then you do have Pisces types like that, and with the women too. And these are the ones that usually become hurt and victimized and go to the tragic story, which is so common about Pisces, where they're the victim and everything happens to them, and a soap opera. He can definitely be that person, and that's a form of a tragic figure because of the fact that there are basic deficiencies here. But the person that is born like that, where he just cannot function at all in the material world because he's wired only to respond to the antithetical and unseen worlds, this person is here then to balance both and give integrity to both. But he has to find a way to mesh them and balance them and still deal with the imperfect and frailties of the human condition. And those are the four categories of Pisces. Now let me see what what you have to say. All right, and let me get Mr. Magoo. I always forget to bring the motherfucker. I'll be right back. Be right back. Because it's right here. I always forget to bring it. God. Okay. Look at that. I don't see it. Are you serious? Oh boy. You know, I do try. Leo, where's my my focus or whatever you call it? Is there? Is that there? No. Like me. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Okay. Let's see who's here. Who is here? And what do you guys have to say about this? Telling you. The devil's a liar. Okay. Yeah, this time is really neat. Okay. All right. Let's see who's here. We got 18 minutes. Okay. Luz Mendez, how are you? Yes, I'm doing well. Yes. Oscar DBG. Thank you. Tara Carter. I'm doing well, thank you. Evolving Love, how are you? JP, very good. Teresa Velez, yes, greetings, Bun. Oh, yeah, Pisces is great. It really is. Cranky Breast 2259. Yes, yes. Angela Burgos. Vlogs. How you doing? Jay Patterson. Okay. There are 12 different women in Pisces trans women too. Yes, there is. Yeah, Sabrina Lynch. Hi, Sabrina. My God, long time. Oh, it's been a while, Sabrina. Okay, huh? Uh-huh. Empress 5, how are you? Yes, this is my amethyst. My amethyst, which belongs to Pisces. He's here. We go, PJ. Be like water making its way through cracks. Do not be assertive. Wait a minute. Do not be assertive, but adjust to the object, and you shall find a way around or through it. All right. And he also says, if nothing within you stays right, outward things will disclose themselves. Empty your mind, be formless, shapeless like water. If you put water into a cup, it becomes a cup. Yeah, you put water into a bottle and it becomes the bottle. You put it in the teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now, water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend. Bruce Lee. Wow. Thank you. That was really very nice. I like that. We have Ricky, Ricane. Recane James Palace. How are you? Okay, all right. Any questions about what you heard today? Yes, yeah. Let me know when you want to come back here to Vegas. I'm going to Mexico in a few weeks. Uh, and Vegas, I've been there a few times. I like Vegas. I like Vegas very much. Okay, we'll be there every Thursday. Can I crouch on your couch, JP? Yes, you can. I'm leaving to Maryland on Friday though. I gotta. We're trying to open another place there. Me and Miss Farmer. Okay. Okay. I know. No questions, guys. Any particular questions that I have that you? Well, you know what? Why don't I give you the? No, no. That's in too low. I will give it to you the moon deal. All right. Let's see who's calling. Hello. Hey, sorry about that. You know, they always call. All right. Talk about the third decan, Pluto dominant. The third decan is Cancer. Pluto dominant won't be here. That will be the second decan, which is Pisces Scorpio, Pluto dominant. Is that what you mean? I'll be in Maryland on Friday. I want my grandness skull back. I read it was the third. The third decan will be Cancer. The fixed sign is usually the second. For example, with Virgo, the first decan is Virgo Virgo. The second decan is Taurus. And the third decan is Capricorn. I'm a second decan. I'm Virgo Taurus. So let me know where you got that it says the third. Let me know. Find out for me the author, the website. Let me know so I can check it out. But it's usually the fixed is the second decan. And the cardinal is the third. Unless you are born in one of the decans, then it reverses. Okay. It says here, what does it say here? That question about the sun and the moon and Neptune dominant depends on the birth chart. King of Clubs number 9. Wow, that means that you are you're gonna be like in like popular, and you're working on your body, on your image, and you're gonna be popular and very attractive. The King of Wands or Clubs is usually the physical beauty of the person, and their standing in the community. It's fire. It relates more to Sagittarius Leo. Okay. Let's come to about your dream while in Maryland. Yeah, we'll be there. We'll be there. I love you, Fernando. Okay, love you back. Okay, so with Pisces, if you want to attract the Pisces, you have to be willing to go on a roller coaster ride. You have to be willing to go on a roller coaster ride if you want to be with a Pisces man. But the thing is that you might develop feelings for Mr. Pisces. They have a way of really turning people out in the bedroom. They turn them out. Women or men, they turn them out. And if you are someone that not strongly disciplined and you could be swept away through a hungry abandon and ecstasy through the agency of lust or infatuation, because it's not going to be love with Pisces. Now, unless they are mature, and then it's a whole different behavior than that playboy singles lifestyle that they emulate, whether they're married or not. It's that player mentality, and he's always like a little trickster. He's like the Virgo polarity. He's always he gets bored. Now he's gonna be wicked and cause problems like the Leo man. These are men who are restless and bored, and they will turn your life upside down just to have a little interesting thing going on, not realizing or not caring the people whose lives they're fucking up. So this one is a toughie. Of course, not all Pisces, of course, if it doesn't apply, it doesn't apply. But usually this is the case, especially if you're below age 30. Above age 30, it gets a little better. A little better. As you get older, it gets a lot better. Like the Aries woman, she finds love as she gets older. The too much volatility in the personality to be stable enough to build on something that can be long lasting. That requires energy and requires an investment. And if the person is not in that space, then it's very unlikely that they're going to acquire the discipline to do it. Especially after they get past middle age. And you have some that still need to kind of grow up. It's tough. I will admit it's tough. Yeah. Can you tell us about the different Scorpio types? I did that already in the video. In our video. I have to look at it because I don't remember. It's a lot of it's 500 videos. It's there. So I'll check and see if I can pull them out. Guys, we reached almost an hour. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed it. We are done with the gifts for women concerning the men of water, men of fire, men of air, and men of earth. It's extra information in addition to the sun sign, moon sign, ascendant, and other elements that you can use to help understand your man that you are prospecting a little better. Okay? And for the men, I gotta figure out what to give the men as a gift. If you want, I can do the career. I can do the career for the men. I'm gonna think about it. That's another set of 12 videos. All right, and I still got to do the karmic signs of countries, and I got to finish the chakra series, and then do the Patreon. Got a lot of work to catch up on, and run the school and the birth chart business. Guys, thank you. Call, please donate, get a birth chart or get a tarot reading, and I will still be doing the 25 for 25 for the entire month of February, since January was a fucked up month. I was going through all kinds of crazy stuff, just to extend that. And I will be going on the air, and I will be staying consistently to make sure that I get as many people as possible for this special. Okay, guys, thank you very much.